At 10, crumbling, uprooted, the sidewalks of Memphis are among the 10 most dangerous. But will a multi-million-dollar plan make them safer? The local I team has the surprising answers.
Messed up sidewalks like the one right here beside me are all over the city, and a new safety action plan from city engineers won't be tackling some of the most dangerous areas first. Steve Collins commutes on Poplar Avenue almost every day.
I don't know what the next driver is going to do.
He battles traffic from a wheelchair after an operation left him partially paralyzed. Forced in the road by sidewalks that are buckled and broken. Some are too steep, others just not there.
I've been hit in this wheelchair 5 times.
And since about 2008 or 2010, Memphis has been consistently been in the top 10 most dangerous cities for pedestrians.
The city's own crash and safety analysis reports pedestrians in the Memphis area are more likely to be hit by a vehicle and killed than in 46 of 50 other regions across the country. Memphis currently budgets $100,000 for about 3,500 sidewalk miles. Nashville spends over $1 million for about 1,000 sidewalk miles. And Austin, almost $4 million for 2,600 miles. Memphis spends almost its entire sidewalk budget responding to complaints about conditions like these. But city engineers just released a report that recommends 10 times what Nashville spends. The Memphis Pedestrian and School Safety Action Plan allocates $200 million in changes over 20 years. That's $10 million a year.
We assume sidewalks will last somewhere between 50 to 75 years. A lot of the sidewalks in the city are approaching that time frame.
A really constrained year with the capital budget.
Memphis Engineering Division Director John Cameron and the city's pedestrian and bike manager Kyle Wagenschutz recently unveiled the first 20 pilot projects that will cost $5.5 million. It looks like the places where there are crashes are mostly downtown, and as I read through the crash report, Poplar, Union consistently come up as within the top sites. How many of those will be addressed by the pilot projects?
I don't know.
But we found answers in the plan. On this map of pedestrian crash locations, the red and orange dots show areas near Union and Poplar with the highest number of crashes. Now look at this map of the pilot projects. Only 13% of the $5.5 million will target the downtown and midtown areas with the most crashes. I don't see that any of the pilot projects are going to alleviate that for most Memphians.
Well, the pilot projects, again, aren't...
Do you see that?
I see it, but the pilot projects aren't designed to address a purely safety concern.
They not only do not follow pure safety concerns, but according to the city's own rating system, many of the pilot projects have lower danger scores than others not on the list.
The pilot projects are designed to provide a demonstration of all of the types of projects that exist within the plan itself.
Not all the pilot projects have got a high score. I think we'd be much better off choosing projects with a high score because they take into account safety and connectivity and all the other issues that were part of the analysis.
Engineers say they only have money for the first 20 pilot projects. Funding could be cut off at any point. Isn't that correct? I mean, it could be cut off after the pilot projects end.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And if the city is left with just those 20 projects, where does that leave Steve Collins and other pedestrians?
I will die at this intersection.
Wagenschutz told us that the first 20 pilot projects are purposefully placed along city council districts to generate support for the $200 million plan. Brandon?
Sounds like they may need to revisit some of these. So, Maria, are these pilot projects final?
No, they're not final yet, but they're expected to be final in June. Brandon, back to you.
Our Maria Hallis, thanks.
New at 10, the local I team exposed a dangerous problem with city sidewalks.
I will die at this intersection.
Now, with millions proposed for repairs, politics could push public safety through the cracks.
Council members we spoke with say they're not happy. They question why a city ranked 5th most dangerous for pedestrians in the country won't tackle some of the worst sidewalks first.
The feeling in the city of Memphis is that we're putting our citizens and our residents last, particularly those who need it the most.
City council members react after hearing plans for the first round of sidewalk and intersection improvements. Fellow city council member Jim Strickland is running for mayor.
We need to address the worst places first instead of evenly spreading it out.
But dispersing the first $5.5 million across city council districts rather than on areas engineers rate as high priority is exactly what managers say they propose.
Those projects weren't always the highest priority.
Take East Homes, for example. Engineers gave it a priority score of 80 and slated it among the first 20 improvements. Now compare multiple points along Lamar. They score far higher at 130 and 150, but did not make the first cut. Paul Garner with Mid-South Peace and Justice Center advocates for people who walk and take the bus to work.
If you're doing a ranking system to identify areas that need dedicated funding to improve safety, and you identify those areas, you should follow the plan, right? So, because I'm sure somebody's getting paid a lot of money to put together those big fancy plans, and it's kind of like throwing money down the drain if you don't then move on those recommendations.
Kyle Wagenschutz, the project manager in charge of pedestrian and bicycle safety, says the overriding purpose of the pedestrian safety plan is not to alleviate the most dangerous areas.
I don't see that any of the pilot projects are going to alleviate that for most Memphians.
Well, the pilot projects, again, aren't...
Do you see that?
I see it, but the pilot projects aren't designed to address a purely safety concern.
So how did the city decide which sidewalk and intersections get fixed first? Wagenschutz says the division chose projects in each city council district, hoping they'd get support for the rest of the plan. And with Memphis now the 5th most dangerous city for pedestrians in the country, according to nationwide and city studies, some continue to ask why tackling places that most likely threaten lives is not paramount.
It bothers me that the residents in that particular part of my district, who are those who need it the most, may be on the bottom of the receiving end of the project.
Yeah, obviously, we need to look at safety, look at where the issues are, where the people use the sidewalks, all those things need to be taken into account.
City council members like Kemp Conrad may not have that chance.
Is there going to be a vote?
Nope, there's no vote recommended.
City council has already approved all this, and you're just moving forward with it, or
No, the plan doesn't go before city council.
It doesn't go forward. No. Okay, so you're ready to go in June, is what you're saying.
Essentially.
We asked Wagenschutz for his reaction to City Council's concerns. He says he'll be making a presentation to City Council in the future and will answer questions at that time. Brandon?
Maria, they may have to rethink the list. At least that sounds like that's maybe what they're leaning toward. Do any of the other first projects besides East Homes rank low on the list?
Some have high scores, others rank in the last phase of the plan. Brandon, back to you.